At least a portion of the Witcher 3 downgrade is confirmed by CD Projekt Red to be due to the consoles, but that's not the whole story. Let's chat about it in the comments, but first, my opinion. I'm Tarmack, and this is Feature Creep. I'm hard on the consoles, I know, and while I share some pie-in-the-sky ideals about the PC gaming market, there is an interesting truth that I've not talked about until now. A few of the CD Projekt Red devs did an interview with Eurogamer about the apparent downgrade to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. What came out of that interview is very important for gamers to consider, but also for developers as well. They talked about the general development process, putting together a trailer which of course looks amazing with the rendering system that they were using, but when that rendering system was later expanded in the open world, it began to cause significant issues not just on consoles but on PC hardware as well. So they changed it to one that improves the overall aesthetic both during the day and night cycles of the game, but it lacked some of the really nice shiny dynamic lighting that we'd been shown in the early video footage. Environments were similar. In order to maintain good-looking, unique features of the world while the player moves quickly throughout, texture sizes needed to be reduced. There were some other things mentioned, but I think you get the point. It wasn't just the console connection that caused these problems. What the interview ultimately came down to, though, was that CD Projekt Red explained how some of the decisions were made and how there was no duplicity involved. They just ran into features that didn't work in the live game, and I have to say I never once considered that they would have been intentionally misleading. I honestly don't believe the Watch Dogs devs were either. No game developer looks at their product and wants to make it less than the best. However, there is truth in the idea that the console generation holds PC performance back, but I don't think that it's fair to say that it holds PC gaming itself back, and I'll explain why in a moment. Both the Xbox One and PS4 are in many respects PCs already. From numerous dev comments from both the AAA scene and indies, these consoles don't have a lot of sneaky proprietary issues that confound development like has happened with past generations. Porting to consoles is much easier than it has been as well. So if you have to decide between a rendering engine that will look great on PC but won't allow you to come close to 30 frames per second required for the consoles, you really only have one choice. Either you pick a different rendering engine that will look great on both but not as good as PCs can handle, or you don't release on consoles at all, and that is a death knell for a lot of games. The Witcher 2 cost around $10 million US to make. Witcher 3 was expected in 2013 to be $15 million in dev costs and $25 million in marketing. It's difficult to know precisely how much middlemen like Steam and the console owners take, as well as retail of course, so I'm not going to try to throw a bunch of math at you. The PC gaming market is estimated to be a bit over double the size of the console gaming market, sure, but with somewhere in the area of a combined 30 to 35 million consoles out in the wild, is that really worth walking away from? This is the kind of decision that big publishing houses and developers are making. Do they focus entirely on PC like Chris Roberts is for Star Citizen, or do they expand their potential audience to make sure that the game runs nice on consoles? The Witcher devs confirmed this part outright in the interview. If the game had been developed only for PC, they said yes, they probably could have gotten a higher level of graphical fidelity, but they came right out and said it. If the consoles weren't developed for, CD Projekt Red couldn't have afforded to make the game as big as it was with as large a budget as it had. It's a bit of a chicken and egg situation, because at this point it's hard to know whether gamers are the ones demanding the big budget games and developers are obliging them, or devs are making big budget games in hopes of giant sales. Likely a bit of column A and a bit of column B. What it does, though, is take away the ability for people to say that consoles are holding PC gaming back. Clearly, in the case of The Witcher 3, we got a game as great as this in large part because consoles exist. There were some compromises, sure, but if you think that those compromises wouldn't have been worse with a dramatically lower budget due to avoiding the consoles entirely, then you're claiming to know game development better than the devs who have been building this franchise for the last decade. I'd prefer myself that game devs were a bit more careful with the early footage that they show us. I know they're hyped and they want us to be hyped, but this happens with every game to varying degrees. People are always upset about something we were shown early and the devs are getting punished unnecessarily for it. That said, if anyone makes their buying decisions on a 2-year-old trailer, well, I have a bridge that I'd like to sell. I've heard and read a lot about this so-called downgrade, whether in the comments here or elsewhere. For those who have played the game, what do you really think about how it looks? There's only so much you can glean from screenshots and compressed YouTube videos. In my opinion, it is quite literally the most graphically beautiful RPG that has been released to date, and very, very well optimized. So drop me a comment down below and we'll chat about it. Feature Creep is a regular show every Monday, so if you made it all the way to the end, you should probably be subscribed. That's all I have to say. Tarmack out.